Hey guys, it's Magic here, coming in today to talk about relationships and what you can do to make sure that your relationship lasts and is healthy and good. Um, Now, this is just stuff that I've noticed and has helped me along my journey, and you can see my cat over there, that's Grim. um, but So it may not be true for everyone, but I believe that there are some core things that do help in relationships. I know that personally, whenever I'm in a relationship with someone, I always try to make sure that I look for positive things about them, that I remember the good times and the good things about them. Because if you can't think of the good things about them, then you're not going to make it through the hardships. You're just going to be like, look, I'm just so done. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Whereas if you can remember something positive, something good about them that you love, and the reason why you love them, then you're more likely to want to try to work through those problems rather than just turn your back on them. It's important to remember the things that you cherish and love about your partner so that way you stay in love, because a lot of the time people fall out of love because they grow apart and they forget why they initially loved the person in the first place. That's why date nights are important and spending time alone together is important. I mean, it's important to have time with your friends. It's important to have time with your family and time to yourself. But if you're not making time for your partner specifically, then you're going to grow apart. You're going to stop remembering why you love them in the first place. So you need to go out every once in a while or spend some time with them at least once a week. Make sure that you remember why you two were so perfect for each other in the beginning. And another thing that has helped me is that I always try to find little things that I think will help them know that I love them. I've gotten out of the habit, but I really need to get back into it in the next relationship I get into. But whenever I was in college and stuff, I used to do cute little things. Like I would always if there was something special that they wanted, I'd buy it for them. Or like when one of my significant others got his game station and his game stolen, for his birthday I bought him the game station and his games again. Or for this girl I really liked, I got her a plant and left her a cute little note about how it represented our love. It was a bamboo plant. And when we broke up, I got her a hammer and left her a note telling her I was sorry about breaking her heart and that hopefully this can help her rebuild it. Cute little things like that. I mean, or just sometimes I just like to, show signs of affection just to let them know, hey, I appreciate you, I like having you around. I also tend to thank my partners a lot for the things that they do, because I want them to know that I appreciate it. Because if you don't know what you're doing that's right, if you're only told what you're doing wrong, you can improve what you're doing wrong, but you'll never know to continue doing the things that you're doing good, because you won't know that that's what they like. So you have to let your partner know that what they're doing is good, as well as what they're doing that's upsetting you. So that way they know what attitudes and behaviors are good and are helpful to the relationship and which ones aren't. As I said earlier, it is important to have time for yourself. It's important to get time away from your partner, whether you're spending some time reading a book by yourself or doing some other activity, or if you're going out with your friends. I mean, there's times where couples always want to be together, and that's fine. That's usually in the beginning stages where they are like, I always want to be around you. But as time goes on, the need for separation does kind of present itself, and sometimes that can be hard, especially when you're so used to always being around each other. But you need to get out of this dependency, because in reality, in life, your partner's not always going to be able to be at your side. So you need to learn to function on your own and have your own friends and have time for yourself and your own activities. Spending all this time together constantly throughout life is very unhealthy. No one is supposed to be your everything. Now, it's important that your partner is important to you. And a lot of people say their partner is their world, but they can't be the only thing in your life that matters. Because not one person can't give you everything that you need. That's just not possible. That's too much pressure and too much to put on just one person. I know I wouldn't like to have that kind of pressure. So you need to have friends. Friends that you can talk to, friends that you can go out and hang out with, friends that you associate with and that love you, and that your partner is okay with hanging out with, because, you know, you don't want to cause the tension. Now, there should be a certain level of trust anyway in a relationship, but some people do have some trust issues, so try to wade through that and talk about it, make sure that everything is good, but you should be able to hang out with your own friends. Both partners need a chance to get out and do things on their own and be supported in doing it, and to know that their partner has faith in them not to mess up or do anything they're not supposed to be doing. Because if there's not that level of trust, then the relationship is doomed. It's not going to work. And you need to be as excited about them going out and doing the thing that they want to do as they are. You can't criticize them for it, because then they're not going to want to do it. You need to make sure that they know it's okay. Be excited, because you need time away from each other, because trust me, if you spend all this time together, eventually you're going to start disliking each other. Eventually you're going to have some type of resentment, because being around the same person all the time, eventually there's going to be a fight. Whereas if you get some time away, it clears your head and you can talk about your problems rationally. Also, while they're out, try not to message them very much, because, I mean, obviously, if they're out and about with their friends or they're out about doing something by themselves and you're constantly messaging them, that's not time away from you. That's them still talking to you all the time. You need to give them some time to clear their heads and just get away from you without bugging them. You need to trust them. Also, if you're a parent like I am and you have children, then you need time away from your kids. Every parent knows this. I actually dated a guy who didn't understand this concept because he doesn't have kids of his own, and he would criticize me for needing time away from my son. But sometimes, as a parent, if you're going to keep your sanity, you need some time for yourself away from the children. It just life. Children will push your buttons and push you to the edge of your sanity, and without having a little time for yourself and a little time away, you're gonna lose it, and you're not gonna be the parent that you want to be. So you need to get time away from them as well, so you can be the parent that you want to be, and learn and respond and not react, because we don't want to react. We need to take deep breaths and make sure we respond and are present and show up in the way that we want to show up for our kids. In order to do that, we need to take care of ourselves and our needs. And besides, I find time away from my son sometimes helps me remember why I wanted to be a parent, because sometimes he really makes me question it. But I love him anyway, because he's amazing. Sometimes I feel like I need a weekend away from him. Sometimes I feel like I just need a couple hours. It doesn't really matter to me how much time I get, as long as I get the time. Like right now, he's asleep, and I'm out here making this video. Another part of a successful relationship is making sure that you are keeping up with the intimacy of the relationship. Now, usually this is more important to one partner than the other. I know in a lot of my relationships it's been more important to my significant other than to me. And so they really need to drive that conversation, because if you're not really that into it, or you really don't, it's not that important to you, it's not real value for you, then you're not going to want to talk about it. So they really need to have that conversation and make sure that something that can be agreed upon is reached, because it is important to have some type of intimacy in a relationship, whether it's just trust or physical, things like that, because if you don't have that, then relationships tend not to last long. Now, the physical part is a major stress reliever, and it does help make them feel better. Sorry, my cat's being weird. Another thing that we need to remember is to not be so hard on them or ourselves. Sometimes we are like, oh, well, they're just doing this to spite me, and we want to retaliate, and we do what we feel like they deserve rather than what we should do. So sometimes we need to have a little grace and give them the opposite of what we feel like they deserve. So sometimes they don't even mean to do those things that we're getting mad about, that we're having trouble with accepting, that we're wanting to retaliate on. And if they didn't mean to do it, then us getting mad and hurting them for it, or being upset and causing a fight, isn't going to do any good. So, I mean, and honestly, if they're doing something that's frustrating you, you should really be communicating that. You should be telling them, hey, this is what is wrong. I need you to help me figure out a way to fix it. Because that's the only way it's going to get better. If you just retaliate and do something, they may not even know why you're mad. You have to talk. Because if you don't tell them what is wrong, then you're setting them up for failure. Setting them up for failure every time. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble keeping this thing braced. And you'll be sabotaging your relationship, though, if you do not communicate what is wrong. You have to communicate what is wrong. And give them a chance to fix it. They're not mind readers. No one is. I know I'm not. Another thing that we have to do is take care of ourselves. Because we need to show up for our lives and show up for ourselves, keep our promises to ourselves, and take care of ourselves. Because we can't take care of anyone else unless we're taking care of ourselves. You need to keep going, even when it frustrates you, and you need to keep trying. Be the best version of you. Because, like, if you're not, everyone always says that you can't love anyone else until you love yourself, but that's also true for self-care. If you're not taking care of yourself, then you're not going to be able to take care of your other people. I know that whenever I'm having trouble taking care of myself, I find it a lot harder to be there for my family, personally, and that's just how it is. So, in order for me to be the best mother I can be, since I don't have a relationship right now, I do need to take care of myself. If I was in a relationship, in order to be the best partner I could be, I'd also need to take care of myself. Because you can't help somebody until you're willing to help yourself. The only person you can save. Something that was brought up to my attention in my most recent relationship that recently ended was that date nights are important for a relationship to last. Because if you aren't going out and doing things with your partner and remembering, and doing things like you used to do before you got together, or like before your relationship got to the point that it's in, then you're not going to remember why you love them. And then that's usually why people grow apart, is because they can't remember why they cared. Because it's like, once the relationship becomes kind of normal, we just stop pursuing our partner, we stop going out and doing things, we stop being there like we should. We just don't care anymore, and we don't remember those things. We don't remember the fun that we had. Because we don't go out and have fun anymore. We miss those times, and we want those back, but we don't actively try to get them back unless we're actually actively pursuing a date night and trying to make sure that it happens. And I didn't really think it was that important, because honestly, none of my relationships did I really ever actually go out. So there was a few that I did, but not very many. And so to me, it just didn't register that that was important, but to them it was. And I found that it actually helped us feel closer whenever we did go out and do things. So in reality, I really do think that the date night is an important thing. Also, you need to make sure that you are doing what you can to make sure that your partner doesn't get hurt. Now, this doesn't mean that they have like a dream that you think they're going to fail at, that you stop them from trying to pursue it. But you need to show them that you are their biggest fan when they're going after their dreams. And you need to make sure that you're there for them when they fall. Because you would want them there for you to support you in whatever you wanted to pursue, but also be there just in case you fell down or failed at whatever it was that you were doing. You also need to make sure that you're defending them, because if other people are saying bad things about your partner and you just join in, what's that really say about you and your relationship? If someone's talking crap about your partner, you need to stand up for them. It's not cool to sit there and talk shit about your partner. Now, it's okay to vent if you're having like a hard time in the relationship, but you don't let other people, and you don't talk shit on your partner. That's just asking. That's like saying that you don't care. It's just not right. I mean, you wouldn't want them to do that to you, so don't do that to them. We need to make sure that we're constantly pushing them to grow, and ourselves to grow. That we're always making sure that we're reaching for the best versions of ourselves, and that we're pushing them to do the same. Because some days it's hard to get motivation. Some days it's hard to remember why you're doing the things that you're doing. And sometimes people need a little push. I know I do. I suffer from depression. So a lot of the time I need someone to help push me to do the things I know I need to do, or push me to do what I want to do, and to challenge me to show up. Sometimes that's my partner, and sometimes that's my friends. But I do need that support system. I need to feel like someone is there to help me make sure that I achieve what I need to achieve. Also, you need to remember that you guys are a team. Whenever there's hardships, it's not just their hardship or your hardship, it's your guys' hardship. You need to go through it together. Wade through the difficult times together. Because if you can't get through the difficult times together, if you can't be there for each other when you're suffering, then you're not going to have a lasting relationship, because a lot of relationships is being there through both the good times and the bad. If you cannot wade through the bad times, then you cannot survive for more good times. And getting through to the good times is what you want to be able to do. But if you won't wade through the hard times, then you're not going to make it. It's just how it is. So make sure that you are being there for them. Make sure that you try to make sure that your relationship can withstand anything, and you'll make it. Well, that's it for this video, guys. I do hope that you have a good rest of your day. I gotta go take care of my kiddo. He just woke up, and you go out and spread the love, okay?